Launching and growing a successful dental practice is no easy task. It takes a skilled dentist, great service, and a great location. But it also takes a great understanding of your numbers. So in this video, I'm going to give you a high-level view of the numbers that you should master before launching your dental office. To simplify it, it really all comes down to your sales, your expenses, and your cash flow. And as you're going to see, there's a whole bunch of levers that we can try to push or pull to impact these numbers. But we're going to start with sales. So there are three key drivers of your sales at a new dental office. It's your advertising cost to acquire a new patient, it's your retention of those patients, and then it's the average annual spend per patient. So let me dive in a bit more on each of these areas. Now first, the primary way you're going to attract new patients is very likely through advertising. According to the Datamon Group, the average cost to acquire a new patient for a dental practice is $200. So in order to develop your sales projections, you'll likely start with an advertising budget. So let's say you start with $5,000 per month in advertising at $200 per patient. That will help you acquire 25 new patients. Now, you don't want to pay $200 to acquire a patient that comes once and never comes back. So it is vitally important that you also retain these new patients and turn them into loyal repeat patients. Now, as a startup dental practice, your goal is to acquire enough new patients to reach your target number of patients as fast as possible. Now, there's a lot of data out there about how many patients one dentist can handle, but I typically go with 1,500. One dentist, a dental assistant, a dental hygienist, and probably some front office support can handle about 1,500 active patients. So your capacity may be a bit different based on your specific situation or your facility or even the needs of your patients. But you should aim to determine your ideal number of patients and then reach that level as fast as you can. Now, as a side note here, I do just want to point out that if the cost to acquire a patient is $200 on average, and you need to acquire 1,500 patients, that's $300,000 in customer acquisition costs that you're going to have to spend to build up your patient base. So if you're thinking that sounds crazy and you'd rather just acquire an existing practice with existing patients, that is certainly an option to consider as well. Going back to assuming you're starting this brand new dental practice, once you model your number of active patients each month, you want to estimate how much revenue each patient will represent. Now, according to the American Dental Association, the average American spends approximately $650 annually on dental services. So the easiest way to model your sales projections will be to take your active number of patients times $650 divided by 12 months to come up with your monthly sales projection per person. Now let's jump into expenses. Fortunately, there's some great data out there to help you estimate what your major buckets of expenses should be. According to Practice Financial Group, the employee wages and benefits, not including the dentist, should land between 24 and 28% of your sales, and your lab fees and dental supplies should be between 10 and 14%. So if you add those two categories together, let's just assume it's about 40% of your sales will be taken up by these two categories. Next, you want to add up your bare minimum fixed overhead expenses like rent, utilities, security, phones, internet, software that you need, etc. Let's say that all adds up to $5,000 per month. Now, you can work backward and figure out how much revenue you'll need to generate in order to break even. So I'm going to take you back to high school algebra class to calculate your break even. So to determine when you break even, the calculation will be monthly sales times 60% minus overhead expenses equals 0. Now, why 0? Because when this equation equals 0, that means you're breaking even. You're not making a profit and you're not losing any money. You're just breaking even. Now, why 60%? Did we say monthly sales times 60%? Well, that's because we said 40% of sales will be going directly to employee costs and labs and supply costs, right? So if you remember from algebra class, in order to calculate how much in sales we need to generate to break even, we can add 5,000 to 0 and then divide by 60%. We'll be left with the sales amount we need to break even. So in this example, that is 5,000 divided by 60%, equals $8,333 in sales required to break even each month. Now, let's say you go through your sales projection process and you don't think you're going to be able to hit $8,333 in monthly sales. Your challenge in this business is that your profit margins are basically set by the payers, the insurance companies primarily, and if you can't figure out ways to cut your overhead expenses, then your only option is really to try to grow sales as fast as possible to reach that break-even level. So the last thing I want to mention is that once you reach break-even, from a profitability perspective, you still have one major problem to consider, and that's cash flow. Cash flow can be a real challenge for dental practices because you'll likely have to pay your employees every 2 weeks, right? And you may not get paid by the insurance company for months. So in theory, you should be able to get into this kind of regular payment schedule, but if you do anything wrong when you submit billings and they get rejected for payment, that can even cause additional delays. So when you're waiting to get paid, you're going to have to continue paying your employees, your rent, your utilities, etc. So I'd recommend that when you start, you have at least 3 months of expenses in the bank in cash to cover your cash flow needs when you get started. So there's a crash course on projecting your break-even for your dental office. Now we actually have a financial projection template built specifically for dental offices that's going to help you lay all of these costs and sales assumptions out to make this easy for you. We also have a lot of industry data that's in the spreadsheet template already, research already done for you. So next I'm going to dive into the details of our template and actually show you how to build out your financial projections.